Hello.
Hello, folks.
How are you? How's everybody doing today?
Hello. And welcome to Marriage Moment Killed with the
The
Nobles.
Nobles. Yes. We are here and ready to discuss another important topic, as always. And just a little recap as you're coming on in. Last week we talked about how to deal with anger,
Mm-hmm.
and we just kind of dove into that. So make sure you go back and catch the replay. We talked about some, more triggers and just how to deal with those issues, and at the very end we even brought up the topic about what if the anger causes you to have to take medication.
Mm-hmm.
What if that emotion is so great until it needs more? And then we also discussed at what point do you go outside of your marriage to discuss your relationship with another person. And we came to the conclusion that if you feel like you want to go and talk to someone else outside of your marriage, that's a red flag, or that's a warning to go and get professional help. And so that's where we left off last week, dealing with the anger, when do you seek help, and not going to bed angry.
Mm-hmm.
We did end up with the scripture, don't let the sun go down on your wrath.
Yep.
We talked about that as well. So you want to take from here?
And so this week we want to extend it. I don't know if it's a part 2, but we're going to extend the issue of anger. And like you said, we left off because there may be some cases where there is a mental issue. So we're going to talk about, in a relationship, mental, emotional, and physical health in a relationship, because you're two individuals and you're trying to make it work.
Right.
And one partner, as we discussed last time, with anger, how to deal with anger. And although anger is not a sin, it can lead to sin. And what happens in the case of the partner, your partner having to take medication?
Right.
And where did you go? And how do you sense that? And how do you know that? And so we're going to pick up from there. And I think it's important to understand, number one, your mate, your partner, and what's normal. And I guess, that's why before you decide to really get into a serious relationship with any individual, whether it's courting, whether it's dating, being a fiance, proposal, or getting married, you need to see that individual in different times,
Right.
in different stages, because you want to know, how do they respond, and do they respond in a healthy way?
Right.
Because sometimes there's some unhealthy anger, and then there's some healthy anger. Healthy anger is basically, you're frustrated, and you and your mate, you and your partner are discussing and y'all work it out. But what happens with unhealthy anger, where now that person needs some medication?
Right.
And what do you do? And so we left off, as my wife stated, was any time where you begin to talk about your relationship to another person, that's when you need, did we say another person?
Yes.
That's when you need to get some professional help. When you start venting towards others on the outside of a relationship, that's either pastoral counseling, relationship counselor, and then those individuals, a psychologist, professional counselor, may be able to identify the fact that this anger that's coming from your partner may be because of a chemical imbalance. And if you love them, because some individuals have PTSD, have issues that way before you met them, that they need help, that they need something to calm them down.
Right.
And so that psychologist or psychiatrist or that professional counselor may be able to state that, hey, you know, until you can manage this anger on your own,
On your own.
you may need some help with some medication.
That's right. And there's nothing wrong with going to see a professional. There's nothing wrong with going to the doctor. A lot of times we try to handle it ourselves, and that's okay. You know, it's great to have faith. But also God He puts doctors, professionals, psychiatrists, He put those people in place for a reason. You know, He put those doctors in place for a reason. So, and there are saved doctors out there. There's saved medical physicians. There's saved people in every capacity, every field. There's saved people out there. Hello, Sister Sharon.
Hey, Sister Sharon, thank you for joining us. Thank you for sharing this live. Thank you. Your
Thank
support means a lot to us, so thank you. And so, oftentimes, people in relationships say,
Right.
and then there are cases where individuals, you know, I believe that God has given individuals the wisdom, the know-how to handle human related issues. And there may be someone that's not saved that can become a help to your relationship. The most important thing is you want to be able to, if your anger, if your problem is causing tension in the relationship, I think it's the responsibility of yourself
Yes.
to do what it takes in order to keep your partner or keep your relationship healthy. And sometimes that involves going to get some medication to help you with your anger.
Yeah. That's true.
And then the other partner need to understand that there's something they're not able to control to help you with, so it's okay. It's okay to seek that professional help for some medication.
And look, people, make sure if you already know that you have PTSD, if you already know that there's some lingering medical issues when you meet your partner, your soon-to-be spouse, please share that, convey that to, because it's gonna come out sooner or later.
Yeah.
You can only hide it for so long, so it will come out. It will behoove you to share this information with your spouse, your soon-to-be spouse, your fiance, your boyfriend, whoever you are seeking a future with. You need to share that information with them.
Do you think that information not shared because of judgment? What is it about? You know, here it is, we 2 years in a relationship, and now you find, why wasn't it told 2 years ago? What you think what contributes to that?
I think sometimes we judge ourselves.
You think it's the person?
I think it's the person just feeling that confidence that they have. You know, they're wanting to be perfect for their mate, and they're not wanting to let them see or know about any flaws that they may bring to the table. Everybody wants to be perfect when they're first dating.
Right.
You know, when they're going out, when they're talking. You know, when they're just simply getting prepared for their future together. If you want to spend a lifetime with me, then, and you're looking at me as if I'm perfect, you're treating me as I'm perfect. So I don't want to share those flaws. That we look at those as flaws sometimes, and we don't want to share them. So
you figure that the person is judging themselves,
yes,
and don't want to do it, and you're afraid. You don't think they're afraid that their partner may misjudge them.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, medication and or diagnosis doesn't have to be the rest of your life. Something, that's good. That's good. Some things are temporary, and I think most individuals believe that once you start taking medication, then and you know what, medication is only supposed to be used temporarily.
Yeah.
There's some other things you need to be adding with that medication in order to wean yourself off of it or become healthy, so that you won't have to continue with that medication.
Right.
But when we talk about medication for mental health issues, it's only used as a temporary coping. And if your partner decides to use that, or they say they need help, support them in that. Because a lot of individuals may come from a background where I don't believe, I don't, especially in Christianity. A lot of individuals, Jesus can heal. All right, we believe in divine healing. But until I am made whole, sometimes that medication can help you in that. So don't be afraid, and then don't be ashamed to let your partner know, because there may be an issue where this could be mental health medication, physical health medication, because there's some cases where if I don't know that you're taking medication for an issue, you may have a crisis, especially if you take medication for seizures, or you take medication, high blood pressure medication, you take medication that if you don't take it, a crisis may occur. Let your partner know that I'm taking this medication, because we're supposed to be partners, right? We're supposed to be partners. We're supposed to trust one another. Then even when it comes down to medication that I'm taking, and don't be afraid to let your partner know.
Right. I agree with that.
Yeah. So it's important that not only should you have a healthy relationship emotionally, mentally, but physically.
Yes.
So let's talk about it a little bit. Let's talk for a few minutes about a healthy physical relationship amongst the partner, meaning in shape. What are some of the things that couples can do for physical health goals? Because your relationship is not only emotional, but it's also it's physical. You want to be able to do stuff. You want to be able to go places. You want to be able to walk places that your partner, you don't have to keep stopping. So, because people are tired.
Right.
And then, you want to have fun. And sometimes physical health also affects what emotional health, especially when people don't feel good about themselves. Physical health, exercise, walking, all that, it helps you, it produces some neurotransmitters that help you feel good about yourself. That's why we get our hair cut. That's why we get our hair done. Why? Because we want to feel good about ourselves.
Right.
So what are some of the things you think when it comes down to relationship in terms of physical health that couples need to be aware of and that need to be on the forefront?
Well, I definitely think that walking together would help. But I also think that whoever prepares the meals, then start looking at reducing some of the fatty meats and fatty foods in your diet. Start looking at taking away some of the salt, reducing some of those things, and not, eating a lot of unhealthy meat, and I can't necessarily tell you your body may digest beef, very well. Your body may even digest pork, but some things are unhealthy. So I'm not going to just list what is and what's not, because that's your preference, but you can research that, and you can definitely start cutting back on some of the salt intakes and a lot of the sweets. Stop bringing so many sweets into the home. Everybody knows that the salt, can give you high blood pressure, the sweets, with diabetes, and, so some of those things that for sure, you may want to start cutting back on that. You can start being healthy by looking at the calories a little bit more on the back. Look at the labels a little bit more on the back of the packages and the canned goods, and stop eating so much of the processed foods. And some of those things are just automatically going to put a wear and tear on your body. Just start doing some physical activities. If you don't want to necessarily go on a bike trail or walk up and down the road, then go to the mall, because you're automatically going to walk. You'll be doing something fun, and you'll be walking around together, so you'll still be walking. So if you want to get something fun out of it, then that is a way that you can do something that's fun. You're going to the mall, you're going window shopping, or you're going actually shopping, but you're actually getting your workout in that, as well.
Yeah, for those of you who are joining us on the replay, this is Marriage Moment Tip with the Nobles. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching us. Join, share. We are here We try to be here every Saturday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And what we're talking about today is emotional, physical, and mental health. And so physical health, now this is important because one of the first things we see about our partner is their outside. I don't care what we say, the first thing we see about them is their outside. There's something about them on the outside that attracted you to them. And it was your taste. Each of us got a particular taste that we want to see in a mate, we want to see in a boyfriend, we want to see in a woman, we want to see in a man. And so there was something particular about the outside. And as we grow older, some things don't tend to remain the same. So it is important that you will be attracted for your mate. We don't talk, and people are afraid to talk about these taboos, but there's the lust of eye, lust of flesh, and pride of life. What my eyes see, all right, that's the lust of the eyes. But everybody got a taste. So it's important that even in your physical health, that you remain attractive for your mate. And so sometimes that involves getting in shape. And getting in shape involves eating healthy. Doing things to keep your body in shape. Because there's nothing like a person that is active. And that's moving around, that has a mate that is not active.
That's right. Hey, sis.
Hey, Veronica. Hey. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. So we're talking about physical health. So there's some cases where one partner is not in shape and can't move around, and the other partner is. And so the partner that's active find themselves doing active things, and the partner that's not find themselves being staying at home, being in place. That's also with emotional health also. And so this is important because oh, Lord.
Wait, think about the first segment we was talking about earlier. We was talking about when, at what point do you feel like you should suggest to your spouse that they should be on medication because they're angry and they're emotionally upset? So how would you be able to share or bring it up with your spouse, sis? How would you be able to bring that up with your spouse that they possibly need to go and get checked out to be placed on some medication? So we've been talking about. I was talking to Sister Veronica.
I'm the one that is.
So we talked about all those things, and now we're on the emotional part, and then the healthy part,
the physical health,
and so and then emotion.
Yeah, emotional. Yeah, it is important that we be emotional healthy for each other, because if my emotions going up and down, you don't want to be around individuals who are very emotional. Because you don't want to be walking around eggshells. What about a partner that is always depressed? And then you got another partner that's not always depressed. And so it can drive a wedge because can we use this word energy? The energy that it takes to support that person emotionally can be draining.
Right.
And
so true.
And here is where sometimes infidelity occur, and because I got a partner that's always on an emotional roller coaster, and then somebody who is not comes to me, and now I start spending more time with them because me and their energy is matching, but the energy of my spouse is not matching the same, or my girlfriend and boyfriend. And so this is why it's important that emotional health and physical health. And so I was talking about physical health being, because sometimes people are more active.
Yeah.
And if I'm taking care of my physical health, and I want to go, and I'm able to go, and I'm able to do all this, but my partner is not healthy physically, then they're going to remain at home all the time. So that begins to drive a wedge. and I begin to find myself a loner. And the emotional help draws in because if I'm always isolated and secluded in my emotions, and then I don't want to do nothing but my spouse does,
Right.
then that can drive a wedge in the
Right.
relationship.
And let's go. Can we go back up?
Yes.
So you mentioned something about. I think you mentioned about grieving. Or if you didn't, let me just. Okay. So we were talking about emotional. So if your spouse, if you're grieving,
Thanks for sharing.
if your spouse is grieving, they lost a loved one. That could, and you are not sure how to soothe them or console them, and it's going on and on, and it's going on for several months. The weeks pass by, and now it's into the months, and you're going on past 4 to 5 months, and they're still they're becoming depressed, or they're just grieving, and you just can't help them. So how do you help them move from that space to how do you move them out of that position? How do you help them transition? And we talked about medication earlier. So that seems to me, I'm not saying that they should go on medication, but that seems to me that would be something that you definitely want to look into, having them to go and visit the doctor.
Visit somebody.
Visit somebody
Get some
because
professional help.
Seek some professional help, because they would very well, sometimes, I've heard people, talk about that they can't sleep at night, because they're in such a depressive state. And so they may have to get medication for not being able to sleep, or to even calm their nerves or calm them down. There's different medication for everything. And I'm not saying that medication is the
answer
end
to
all,
all.
be all. But how would you even get your spouse to even consider going to seek professional help if you think that they need medication? Sister Veronica said, I reach out to someone who has their ear at the moment, to help push them to get help. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Somebody who you have to be careful with that. The right person, the right person. And so
it doesn't need to be a male.
It doesn't need to be the opposite sex.
It doesn't need to be the opposite sex.
There you go.
Because
that ear can be your ear.
Well, now sometimes don't need.
Yeah, exactly. Don't need me to say. You're right about that. You just you have to be the right person, and this is knowing. This takes a segment, knowing your partner's friends, knowing somebody that can really get in touch with them, that can really impact them. Hey, Erica, thank you for joining us.
Hey, Erica.
So yeah, reach out to somebody who can help them, especially if you can't. When and this is why it's important that they're being emotional. The Bible says two are better than one, for when one falls, the other may help. That's why it's important for all of us to have good emotional, physical help, because I may need you, and if both of us in emotional wreck, then who's going to help each other? So yeah, reaching out. Sharon said also try homeopathists for natural remedies to help with getting rest. Other things. Some individuals may not like over-the-counter medication or prescribed. There are some other pathways, some natural herbs, some natural means of helping them. So yeah, being able to and looking into it, going to these places. Where you
keep going. Erica said something.
Okay, our diet and exercise regimen impacts our behavior. Yes, the right person. Okay, Erica. Okay.
Erica said, seek professional help. Be sure to also ask them. Don't isolate yourself from them. As the pastor said. Pray with them for guidance and wisdom as well. To just listen. Yeah, I agree with that. Thank you.
Oh wow, that's good.
Blood test.
Yeah.
Oh, for when? Oh, that's
Hormone blood
right.
test.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Because
Yeah.
sometimes,
It's
yeah.
in the bloodline. It's in the bloodstream, and
Yeah, your hormones may be,
and that's the reason why they always want to take our blood, because they're always running tests. You wonder why? Or we need to
Yeah.
just run. You go to the doctor for a random checkup, or we just want to take a little blood. They running all those kind of tests. On
Yeah.
us,
because
so
of
that's
chemical
true.
imbalances, maybe
Chemical
causing it.
imbalance.
And y'all trying to work it out, and you trying to be there for that person, emotional safety, but they're loose cannon, or they are.
Why you gotta go there?
I'm
Not
serious.
necessarily be a loose
They're a
cannon.
loose cannon. You don't know what to do, so you saying, "Hey, we need to go to the doctor, and we need to, when the last time you had a checkup? When you had last time, and y'all, we say this to death, special married couples, to death do us part. So I want to live I want to do my part, to live as long as I can, to be around for my partner, and my partner ought to want to be doing the same. And so I think we need to encourage each other to go get to go get yearly checkups. How are you doing?
That's right.
Because we can't do those things and drive off into the sunset if you ain't there with me.
Right, and men too, right?
You see.
Men too.
And men, male and female, the homo test.
Right. Are you gonna
Yes.
be willing to go?
Yes.
Blood
I
test?
tell them. I tell them myself.
And can I so you would understand if I said, let's go get you checked out. You might need a little medication.
Yes, I will understand.
I'm gonna have to
Take
figure
me,
out,
I'm the one. You know what? But I'm more
take you
inclined.
to the altar and purge the chemical imbalance. Yeah, but look, after you leave the altar, you can take them to the doctor.
Especially in Christendom, and this is one of my topics of passion, because a lot of times, especially in us as believers, sometimes sometimes we are the last ones to go get professional help.
Yes, that's true.
Because we think, and I believe in the power of Jesus working miracles and healing. He was wounded for our transgression, bruised for our iniquity. The chastisement of our peace was upon him. With his stripes we are healed.
And we the last ones in line.
We are the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And then and watch this, in pastors. If you're not trained, because some pastors are not trained in providing counseling,
Right.
then there's nothing wrong with referrals.
Right.
I've had some pastors refer, some people to me, but they had to call me. Like, you just can't come on and got to call. So, because they knew, what I did and what, they just knew it. So,
And my prayer would be, if I were to, my take on this would be for pastors also, like you said, to know when to refer those the saints or with parishioners, with parishioners. When should you suggest that they go to the doctor? I don't know of too many. Well, I'm not like in everybody's church, but I haven't heard of. I don't hear of too many times where pastors actually suggest to their church members to go to the doctor. They do come up in prayer line, they do get prayer, and pastors do pray for them. And I mean, do you take the time out to see what's really going on behind the scenes?
Yeah.
I think taking that time out, finding out what else is involved, why what led to this state, this situation. Is there any, get to know your members.
There you go.
Once you get to know your members, you will be able to effectively somewhat diagnose or to refer them and say, okay, you need more than what I can give you, and therefore you may need to go and make an appointment.
It's just like what they do at the doctor. You triage. You triage. And I don't want to say it because people ought to be paying me to teach this seminar, but you ought to triage. First thing, spiritual. As a pastor, we always going to look spiritual, and then if it's not spiritual, and this is where pastors need to ask for discernment. And this is where they ought to have the gift of discernment. So you think about that. Then if it's not a spiritual issue, then I automatically start saying, okay, mental, emotional. Paul said in Second Thessalonians, he said, I pray that you be sanctified, your spirit, soul, and body. That's the triage right there. You first start with the spiritual, then the soul, the mental health. You start thinking, okay, but what are you thinking about when this happens? And then you go to physical. Is there anything going on physical? And then that's when you start saying, okay, you may need to go to the doctor.
Right.
You know, I'm gonna pray for you. I'm gonna pray that you find the right doctor to help you. I'm gonna pray that you take out time to take care of your mental health. So I do triage. Oh goodness, the body is talking to you, and we need interpretation both spiritually and naturally. Pastors and doctors, yes. There you go.
So true.
Your body, even in the spiritual realm. When we talk about spiritual, that is so true. And so what we're talking about is couples, your emotional, physical, and mental health. Being knowing your mate, knowing your boyfriend, girlfriend, spouses enough that you are able to say, hey, listen, there's something that's affecting you emotionally, physically. Now, so this is good, especially when I know that I'm not the problem. You know, because I do some self-diagnosis when I get chasing. I said, wait a minute. There ain't nothing I did to do this. Something else going on.
Yeah, with me.
I'm just saying.
What now? Run that back.
All I'm saying is, when I get chasing,
By me?
when I get chasing for no reason, I do some
Oh,
self-interest.
it did never no reason.
You're right. So what I do is say, what did I do to cause this? If I didn't do nothing to cause this, all I'm saying is there's something going on elsewhere. So then it is okay to say, hey, listen, is there something going on? Now I'm going to tell you about this. When there is something going on with me physically, I show it. Because we tend, especially as men, we tend to be the last ones to go to the doctor. Hey, Mike, thank you for joining us, man. We tend to be the last ones. And oftentimes, what's going on with us physically affects us emotionally.
Yes, I agree.
As men. That's the same with women also. What's going on with us physically affects us emotionally.
Right.
If it begins to affect us emotionally, it's going to have an impact on your spiritual life. We have created a space for them to feel comfortable and safe to tell us how they are feeling without feelings as if they're being attacked.
That's true.
Yes, I agree with that, Erica. So, and so all of it is connected. It leaks out even when we try. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it leaks out. So something is going on. And so pay attention to the cues.
Yes.
Pay attention to the cues. If I'm normally active and I now become isolated, then something's going on. And it can be in those three areas. If I'm normally isolated and I become active, something is going on.
Yeah. I agree.
A lot of couples, especially married couples, we don't address insomnia. Our spouses not being able to sleep. Let me give y'all an example. For the last 5 days, I have been away for training, and I haven't been able to sleep because I'm so used to my wife being next to me. The first day is awful. The second day at the hotel, okay. The third day, I may get adjusted, but because I'm used to her. I'm used to her near me. So this is why I bring up the power of touch. If you are a couple and you are definitely married, the power of touch, physical touch, in and of itself can be healing. Yeah. Yeah. And we don't deal with that. And if you are a person that the love language, understanding their love language.
Do you know your love language?
Do you know the love language
of yourself?
Yes.
As well as your spouse.
Yeah. There's a love language test. So the power of touch can be soothing in and of itself. Being able to look at the cues. This is relationships. You have to be unselfish.
Right.
And I know this culture that we're living in right now is all about me, myself, and I. But when you're a couple, you got to be unselfish because you don't know what your spouse, your partner need. Then you have to pick up on cues. You can't be worried about, how I'm doing, but I'm also cueing in on what's going on with you. And if you're cueing in on what's going on with me, both of us, here we go, church folks, both of us will receive ministry. I hate to use that word because but both of us be careful because I'm looking for your cues. You're looking for my cues. But if one person just worry about themselves, then somebody
there will be
no ministry.
You need to minister.
You need to minister the power of touch. So that brings me to a question. The touch. Talk to us about the touch. What
you
does
just talk to him about the touch.
I can't. Oh, Mike, the touch is as I can't stand to sleep in a separate room in the same. We have been married so long that we're almost like twins. Mike Edwards. I'm telling you.
I agree.
I'm telling you. Y'all,
it's just not the same.
Anybody ever experienced that? You remember one time when you got sick, I got sick. I mean, there was a time where both of us was feeling the same thing.
He just wanted to be sick.
I was
sick. He couldn't take care of himself. He just wanted to be sick.
I'm gonna tell you this. I was having a discussion with somebody, and they was talking about a couple that had been married for a long time, and we hear these cases when one person dies, the other person dies later on. Closer. The question ain't how can you live with the person that long. The question is how can you live without them.
Yeah, I do believe that's true because a lot of couples when they're senior citizens, elderly, when their spouse passed away, it's not even a few months later, then you hear about them passing away too, and even animals. If their owner passed away, or if their loved one passed away, another animal, then they.
That's amazing.
I agree.
And I think and that goes back to the oneness of marriage. When God said y'all should not be twain, but y'all should be one. There's a deep spiritual thing about that that people don't even recognize. This is that parasympathetic type of love. Understanding. He just wanted to be in the same room. That may be true. But that's it. Having a healthy relationship emotionally, physically, spiritually. We can even add spiritual in there. We talked about that earlier in one of our sessions. Really, praying with each other. Really fulfilling all the desires and all the needs and all and knowing the love language. But I want to ask this question concerning touch, the power of touch. Sometimes that's just it. Not feeling alone. Because sometimes you can be married, but you can be alone.
Yes, that's true.
You can be in this, this person is in this house with me, this person is in bed, but I'm alone. It's because there is no physical touch. Be willing. And what about those spouses that their love language ain't touch? You have to, you have to. Thank you, Erica. When physical touch is absent, that's Even if I'm saying I'm not the touchy feely one, then I need to become the touchy feely one. I really need to, because if I'm the touchy one, and you're not, then that's going to drive something. And we talk about needs in marriage. We talk about needs. Maslow taught us best. The one physical needs, emotional needs, security needs, self-actualization. Y'all coming with it today. Thank y'all. Thank you. this is good, but even you'll be able to give. Yes, sometimes for us that internalize, I'm an internalize. I internalize because I got to think it out. But sometimes it's just my wife touching me, and sometimes what's going on, and it's hard to say what's going on. Sometimes it's just that touch.
Right. You just need peace and quiet.
Yes.
And at the, we mentioned that they may just need to listen. Or you know what we didn't mention? We mentioned that sometimes you need your spouse to listen to you. You just want to be heard. But we never mentioned sometimes you just need silence. Both of y'all need silence. We talked about give that person time and space, but you can still be together.
We talked about presence.
We talked about being present. For them, right? And so just being silent amongst each other, but touch. The touch.
The touch.
Yeah.
And watch this, y'all. Sometimes the touch in the right place. And I know we grown, right? Mm-hmm. All of us got erogenous zones. I mean, and sometimes the touch in the right place can also be soothing.
Yeah.
Y'all, please get out the gutter.
I mean, it ain't a gutter.
Sometimes the touch in the right place can be soothing. I've been there, done that. Yeah, it hurts deep.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, sometimes you're not able to express, and sometimes that touch.
Right.
And then what happens when you expecting that touch but don't get it? Mm. There's a big letdown. Mm-hmm. And not only the issue that's happening, but now the person that you thought you could depend upon the most didn't do it. And that's why I'm saying being aware of cues. Being aware of cues, I think you stated sometimes, if I don't know, at least be there. Right. In the power of presence. Emotional, physical help. As a couple, you mentioned walking together in the mall. That's spending time. Right. Holding hands while walking. The timing of the touch. Yeah. All right, Edward. The timing of the touch. The time. Have anybody? Not right now. Not right now. That's good timing. The place, the when. That's powerful because sometimes they be in that, and this it's the timing also. Knowing your mate's cues, knowing them enough, spending time with them enough to know that, hey, when to do it, when they need it. And watch this. Y'all, it doesn't have to be a reason. It doesn't have to be a reason. And that's why we ought to be celebrating Valentine's Day every day. Yeah. It shouldn't be a reason. One of the things that I think, I don't know if our daughter said it, one of the things we model in the home, especially we got children, is that love, the proper love.
Right.
Yes. She said that's right because I'm married. I love my husband touch, and when he doesn't touch a certain spot, I'm looking at him like he's crazy. Yeah, what's wrong with you?
Right, that's true.
Yeah,
that's so true. Yeah, you should, and that is why you need to spend enough time with your spouse, studying them, evaluating them, observing them, talking to them. Being relatable, making sure that you are, it's just like being taking a test. You got to find out what your spouse likes. You got to find out who they really are. And I mean, sometimes it's not gonna come through just conversation. You got to observe. You got to look at the reactions to certain things and evaluate, and just kind of. And it's not going to come overnight, but, constantly being around them, just observing. Sometimes I just stare at Bean, and then he'll be doing something. And he'll look at me and say, what you look? I said, I'm just looking. You know, I be observing. You know, he does not like me just stare at him. I don't be staring, you know, weird, but I just be looking. And my mind just be thinking. You know, I be observing. And so he may not be comfortable all the time, but sometimes you just need to observe your spouse. You know, don't look like you're stalking him.
Yes, stalk me.
Don't be looking at him like, you you just looking all weird and stuff, but you know, observe your spouse. And you know, what is she saying?
Let's see, student being a student of your spouse, ever learning. That's good, because just because we made it to this point, we're growing individually as a person. But also together. So ever being a student of your spouse, and what happens when something change, being able to see that's good, because most people think I got him now and that's it, or he's always or she's always been like this. But what happens when I change?
Right. They don't go back to revisit anything. They just remember how it was when you first got married, and then they expect it to be that way all the time. And that's why we mentioned in one of the other segments to do a wellness check with your spouse.
Wellness.
Do a wellness, like a monthly wellness check with your spouse, and kind of sit down and ask, is everything good? Is there anything that you want to talk about? Being able to let your guard down, and don't have that wall up all the time. Just let your guard down. Ask your spouse to be able to share anything that's been on their mind, anything that you have done to aggravate them. Let them get it out. Allow them that time and opportunity to get those things off of their chest without you putting that wall up and becoming angry.
Yeah.
Allow them to share.
Yeah. I got a question I want to add, but Veronica said I should have booked y'all for the conference. This is good conversation. Yeah, you should have booked the conference. Yeah, you should have booked this. But thank you. Yeah, y'all share this, and we try to be on here every Saturday at 5. Y'all share this, and get other couples. Please do. How can I love you? Yeah, ask the question. How can I love you better? You know what? Some things we think are juvenile, but it's conversation.
Right.
You know, so that I don't want to have to assume. Now, everything can be told. Everything ought to be a pursuit. I think there's an aspect about it that there's a healthy aspect about pursuing, because you want, and even answering that question is a type of pursuit. Because I'm saying you are you're interested. You don't think that you know it all. And what happens? The big thing is what happens when my taste change.
I think it's buffering.
Oh, it's buffering. So what happens if my taste change? That's the biggest thing when it come down to relationships. Your taste changing, and your spouse don't pick up on it. And so, y'all, we're talking about emotional, physical. Is that your phone? Emotional, physical health, and we're talking about some things in marriage that couples need to be aware of. The question I want to ask you is this: what happens? How do you, if there's something about me, or there's something about your mate that turns you off, or not clicking right, or how should that be approached? Especially if there's a person that maybe, if that particular area, that particular point is, they have low self-esteem in that area.
Well, that's where the wellness check comes in at. It should be a time in your marriage, whether it's weekly. If weekly is too much, then do it monthly. If monthly is too much, do it quarterly. But there should be a time where y'all knowingly is going to sit down with each other, and everything's everything's on the table. All bets are off. You're gonna sit down. There's no pass the stick, pass the baton. That person has to sit and listen to you, and then you have to pass it back, and you have to sit and listen to them. And there's no boundaries. Just anything goes. but you're still doing it in a respectful manner. But let it be a wellness check where you're sitting down talking to them and saying, listen, this is some of the things that I that I'm concerned about. Like Erica said, how can I love you better? I feel like you're not giving me what I'm putting, you're not putting in what I'm giving, all of those types of things. I think you need to be able to discuss that. But don't do it every day. Don't do it. I wouldn't say do it every week, because then it's going to come off as nagging.
Okay, see, now
You don't want to
okay.
be nagging. But if you have a set appointed time where you're doing a wellness check with your spouse, then he knows, she knows that every second Saturday we're going to sit down together. We're going to go out to dinner. Like, it can be a tradition. You're going to go out somewhere, you're going to sit down, and you're going to discuss those things. And then that other person will know that it's coming. Therefore, they're going to be open, or they should be open to it.
This is, Eric said, create a safe environment for honest, raw communication.
That's the same
How
thing.
do you
That's
create
exactly what
the
I'm talking
safe
about.
environment? How do you do that? Because this, if this time of vulnerability, what does that look, the safe environment? And I know it may be.
Is you being quiet when the other person's trying to talk? It can be some type of object. Like, I give you a certain, just get some type of object, and you have once you have it, then create your rules. I have to sit and I have to listen to what you're saying, and I can't complain while you're doing this. I can't. You definitely got to have some boundaries, some rules, and I cannot demean. I can't interrupt you. I have to be open, and the more you do that, then I think the more you set those boundaries, and as long as I have the talking stick, then if the rule is you can't interrupt me while I have that, but then both of y'all have so many minutes to talk. You can get a little hourglass that's like 10 minutes, and you take turns. But establish what the rules are going to be when you're discussing those times, and adhere to it. That's what I think.
Okay. Veronica said, honestly, okay, let's see. Honestly, you should be able to go to your mate in a safe space and have the conversation. If we are a team, the only way to conquer the problem is if we work together. Yeah. We do it quarterly. That's good that we know what's happening in our heads.
Right.
Erica says passing the spoon and not interrupting. Set a time for the scheduled check in 20 minutes or so, so it will end in a positive, and be sure and end with prayer and a 20-second kiss. Now, yeah. Now, the benefit of that's good, because, y'all, these are real things, and especially if it is a time of sharing where the person may be uncomfortable. Utilize the sandwich approach, and the sandwich is positive. I hate to say positive, but the good, the challenging, and good. That's the sandwich approach. Thank you. Intense fellowship. That couple we need to have, but how do you do it when one spouse is more expressive than the other?
That's why you got to set your rules. And then that spouse needs to adhere to those rules. You set your boundaries. You create the rules together.
So what if you're able to put your words together and your thoughts out better than I can? I'm just saying. No.
Now listen, but if you want to express that, write it down on paper and read it.
But these are real.
Write it down and read it to that spouse. If you can't, it shouldn't. I would think that your spouse, the looks are not going to be intimidating, because you shouldn't be going. You shouldn't have a marriage like that. But just in case.
Well, there's some cases now.
Well, just in case you do, I think you should. If you can't just stare at them and look at them, you can read it off your paper.
You're right.
You can write it down. You can jot it. However you want to do it. You can pass note cards back and forth. Whatever your rule is. There's no wrong or right way to do it. you know.
So let's see. Erica says they can write their thoughts. Okay. For those who struggle with communication skills, I say write letter, come back 2 days to discuss. In that way, you've had time to think of your response. And so,
Yeah.
what I'm addressing is there are some couples, there's some individuals that had to grow because what the situation is, they wasn't expressive. They love each other, but one spouse is more expressive than the other, and sometimes in a relationship they grow. One spouse bring another spouse into what more talking, more likely the root of them not wanting to communicate is rooted in fear of rejection.
Right.
Yeah, so these are real life issues that couples have to deal with, and there may be someone that is watching now or shall watch this that they want to be able to express some things, and they really want to make their relationship work, but they've gotten to a point of there's friction, there's frustration, and the communication barrier has been shot, has been dropped. So if they want to start doing that, then you see what I'm saying. So Mike Everett said there's no simple way. You must know the buzzwords. Oh, we talked about triggers last week prior to expressing your thoughts and feelings. Thank you, Mike. I got it. You know what? You know what we need to do? We need to, one of these Saturdays, when we learn how to bring, we're gonna have a webinar. We're gonna have a panel. I can do that too. Yeah, we're gonna have a panel and bring some of these couples on and begin to, so yeah, y'all. So we're talking about emotional, physical health in a relationship. We first started off talking about anger, triggers, and what if you notice that there's some medication need to be brought into. Look at Mike said 40 years, brother. Yes, sir.
Yes.
I think that was recently. Congratulations.
Yes.
Yeah, that was recently.
But if you have, it's about time to go, people.
Yeah.
But if you have any questions, if you want to reach out for a life, we're both certified Christian life coaches. You can reach out to us. I put my email in the comments, and if you want to just talk to either one of us, whether you want a male coach or female coach, then feel free to just kind of reach out, or you can message us here on Facebook. But our time has drawn near.
This has been good.
Yeah, well, maybe we have to do a part 2.
Yeah, and if you have a topic that y'all want to present, please, thank you, Edwards, thank you, congratulations again. Congratulations to all the couples that was on here. Y'all share this, let other couples know. We just, this is just Marriage Moment Tip with the Nobles.
Yeah.
If there's a topic that y'all want us to discuss, send us a message and put it in the comments area. But we just thank God for the opportunity to have this dialogue. We thank y'all for joining us because we're not the subject matter experts. We're just facilitating and leading the discussion, because if there's ever a time where married couples and couples themselves must be healthy, even those of you who are dating relationship wise. What is your website, and do you have a book out too? that they got a marketing person. See?
Yes, well, I put my email there. Let me put my website. My website is Kathy Nobles. I'm gonna write that down. Let's see. Yes. We're about to forget. Go ahead and keep talking.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. So listen, y'all. We're going. If you have a topic of discussion that you want to discuss some things, we may have an open. I don't know. We have to look at Facebook rules, but we have to. We're going to talk about intimacy in marriage. Yeah, intimacy, and watch this. They're going to be discussion concerning sex in marriage, because sex and intimacy are two different things. See, that's a whole other topic in and of itself. And so, any topics that we're able to talk about, if y'all have a discussion, or if you hear something that you say, hey, that would be a good discussion, y'all send us a message us, email at CM Ministries .05@gmail.com.
Or
You-
Kathy Nobles
or Kathy Nobles Ministries.
.org.
.org. And so we just want to be a blessing. Y'all, thank y'all for joining us. You know, thank you for your input, Mike. Y'all, thank you. Sharon, thank you. The Mitchells, and everybody, and Erica. Y'all, thank y'all. Thank you for your comments. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for making it interesting. It is always good when others show up.
Yes.
Although I can talk without somebody, it's always good when others show up. What's up?
Also, Sharon asked about the book. Also, yes, I have 2 books. The first book is A Pastor's Wife, Finding My Way, and that is located on Amazon. The second book is A 30-Day Prayer Walk with God. That is also located on Amazon. I will place both of the links in the comments.
Mm-hmm.
And I am working on 2 more books. I'm working on a children's book, which should be out. Oh, wait. I can't tell y'all I'm not.
I've been working on 4 books since 5 years ago.
And so I have one getting ready to make a debut coming
2 of
out,
them, right?
a children's book, but the other one maybe this summer.
Yeah.
You know, so.
And I'm
But
working on my books.
We're gonna help him. We're gonna help him out.
Hit me loud. Y'all, we
All right,
love y'all.
guys. Love y'all.
Love y'all. See y'all. Enjoy your mate. Enjoy your spouse.
Yes.
Enjoy your relationship. Love y'all.
Thank you, sis.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.